Welcome everybody. Today we are going to analyze the facial expressions of Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, in relation to the Epstein files. Now, to see my credentials and what makes me qualified to do facial expression analysis, you can check the video description. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the video.
So you finished that December 2023 interview with a challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public. You can see this clip.
Boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are, you said. You emphasized that the president and FBI director each had complete authority to release Epstein's client list. You said Epstein's black book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. Look at this clip.
This is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black book?
black book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
In this very moment, the director Patel was feeling fear. You can see it in the stretching of the mouth. This movement is unique to fear, and it's coded as Action Unit 20 in Facial Action Coding System. It's made possible by the contraction of the risorius muscle, many times with a little bit of an assistance from the platysma muscle. Then we also saw the raising of the eyebrows, and that is a movement made possible by the contraction of the frontalis muscle. Now, typically in a fear expression in the eyebrows, you're also gonna have a little bit of a contraction of the corrugator muscle. The prototypical facial expression of fear in the eyebrows can be coded as Action Unit 1 plus 2 plus 4.
Right, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the black book is under your direct control. So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
Now, the expression that we just saw, this one on the screen right now, does not appear to be an involuntary, spontaneous facial expression of emotion. It seems like it is a voluntary expression made to comment or to react non-verbally to what was said. These kind of deliberate and voluntary expressions are very common in social interactions, and they are controlled by the motor cortex in the brain. On the other hand, the involuntary, spontaneous facial expressions of emotions that we're seeing on the screen right now and we saw earlier on in the video are not produced by cortical areas, but rather subcortical structures, much deeper in the brain.
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there,
That's
the black
exactly
book
what I
under
was
the direct
talking.
control of the FBI director.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material, and they never did. And if you are selling the men and women of the FBI,
Why
we're
have
not
you
going after
changed your
child
position?
predators. Hang on, you said we're not going after child predators. 1,500 child predators arrested this year, 35% increase,
I'll reclaim my time.
4,700 child
Mr.
victims.
Chairman, I'm going to
Now.
reclaim my time if you could instruct the witness.
In this very moment, the director Patel was feeling anger. It is shown by the lowering of the eyebrows and also by the quick tightening of the lips. This expression was so quick that I had to pause the video for a moment just to show you guys the movement that occurred. The anger movement in the eyebrows is coded as Action Unit 4, and it's made possible by the contraction of 3 different muscles that usually work together. The first one is the corrugator muscle, the second one is the depressor supercilii muscle, and the third one is the procerus muscle. This anger movement that we saw in the mouth is coded as Action Unit 23, and is made possible by the contraction of the orbicularis oris muscle.
Why have you changed your position? There you were saying it's under the direct control of the FBI director and all of it should be released. Why?
Now, we just saw a raising of the upper eyelids, which can be coded as Action Unit 5. But this expression in and of itself is inconclusive because in the scientific literature, it has been associated with different emotions. For example, it can be a sign of surprise, even though I don't think that's the case based on the context. It can also be a sign of fear or a sign of anger, especially if it is coupled with the tensing or the raising of the lower eyelids.
Why have you changed your
Everything
position?
that has been lawfully permitted to be released has been released. And as I told you,
Really?
the investigation was limited. And let me make something crystal clear. I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic other people, other women, and they're not other victims.
The quick expression that we just saw is associated with disgust. It is a raising of the upper lip and it is coded as Action Unit 10. It was not justified by the speech movements in the mouth. It is made possible by the contraction of the levator labii superioris muscle.
Victims. This is the investigation we were given from 2006, 7, and 8, and the search warrants from 2006, 7, and 8. That's what we're working with.
Well, wait, have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house? The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to
Which
release.
court are you talking about?
3 separate federal courts have come in and said...
We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those courts have.
Do you have any idea how the law works?
Wait.
Do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to follow your own
curiosity?
word, Director Patel. You said up there it was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the black book.
Now, these expressions that I marked as anger are associated with this emotion in the scientific literature, but they are not lip tightenings as we saw earlier on. They are rather lip compressions, and this time it is Action Unit 24, made possible again by the contraction of the orbicularis oris muscle.
Everything I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
Complete your sentence.
Patel now seems to be using the raising of the eyebrows as a voluntary conversational signal. So let's ignore it.
Complete your sentence. Everything you have direct control over, you said.
Have gone to court, and everything we have direct control
Patel,
over.
complete your
and
sentence.
Can
You said everything.
lawfully release. We're releasing.
He'd like to complete his answer.
You began the sentence, everything you have direct control over, and then you stopped that sentence. You've released everything that you have direct control over?
And I have direct control over and can lawfully release. If you're not familiar with the court orders, that's not my fault.
Oh, I'm
Go
perfectly,
look at them.
I'm perfectly familiar
court.
with them. But how did we prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was prosecuted with the investigatory material that was collected from 2001 and 2005 because of the non-prosecution agreements and the court orders on the investigations and search warrants. We were not able to develop new information. And oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein was out for 12 years, and the Obama and Biden administration did nothing to look at his work, his pedophile network. If you want to blame me, that's fine. But now you're blaming the men and women who conducted this great search.
Stop that. I'm not blaming anybody other than you. You're not keeping your word. You said that you would release all of the materials under your direct control.
Has anyone released more information on Epstein than I have? Has anyone?
Much more.
Did Comey? Did Ray?
Much more.
Did they?
Excuse me. Much more has come out in the days since the American people in Congress have been demanding it, but it's coming out in dribs and drabs. Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
I literally just told you, there are multiple federal court orders. I'm not going to break the law to satisfy your curiosity. You didn't join us when we filed court to release the court orders. You could have. You have lawyers. You could have shown up. You didn't do that.
That's a tiny fraction of the material we're talking about.
That is not.
It is a tiny fraction.
How do you know that? Have you seen everything?
It's all misdirected.
How do you know
The time
that?
of the gentleman has expired. The gentleman from California is recognized.
My video analysis ends here for now, but if you have any particular request about a video you want me to make, or maybe you want me to react to a different segment of the same hearing that involves Patel, the director of the FBI, just let me know. I will accept any request. Now, if you watch the video till the end, please let me know in the comments, because I would appreciate it very much. Thank you for sticking with me. See you in the next video.